The following is a rebroadcast of the 1995 New Hampshire Candlepin Championships. Be sure to join Doug Brown and Dan Murphy on Saturday, October 7th for a brand new season of Candlepin Skins. WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present the championships of the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. It's the 1995 All-Event State Tournament. And now, from the legendary bowling center, here are Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Good afternoon once again, everybody, and welcome to the Londonderry Bowling Center here in Londonderry, New Hampshire, and to the finals of the 1995 New Hampshire All-Events Women's Championship. I'm Doug Brown, along with Dan Murphy, who happens also to be the president of the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association, sponsoring the state tournament this year, as always, and it's come down after the weeks and weeks of bowling for the ladies down to this one final match.
That's right, and couldn't be two better competitors, Janet and Glennis, for the finals. It should be a terrific match.
All right, let's show you the women's bracket and remind you how they got to this point. Again, 21 games of bowling in 5 different disciplines in order to determine the top 5 finishers, and those are the 5 names that you see in our bracket. Janet Poch up in the upper right-hand corner was the overall lead finisher, so from that number 1 position, she has the benefit of moving right into the finals without having to play in this playoff round. The other 4 bowlers had to compete in 2 additional matches. Carol Downey beat Debbie Regan. Glennis Mangano beat Lois Queen in the first round, and then last week here on the wins, it was Glennis Mangano with the win 320 to 307 over Carol Downey. So it's Glennis against Janet Poch in today's championship match. And, well, it's kind of interesting. We have a matchup here of 2 former Massachusetts state champions. And interestingly enough, Janet Poch is the defending champion in both Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
You know, she's just had a terrific run the last several years, and you can see for this tournament, she's still on top of her game, so it's going to take a good effort on Glennis's part to stay with her.
All right, let's get a look at our 2 bowlers then. First of all, the number 3 seed when this playdown began from Billerica, Massachusetts, and our winner last week, Glennis Mangano.
Okay, Glennis comes in averaging 117. Her high single was 186, and her high triple is 438.
And again, Glennis with that 320 last week to defeat Carol Downey in the semifinals. And so Glennis moves into the championship match against our number 1 seed, who's had an opportunity to rest a little bit after those first 21 games of competition. She's been waiting around to find out who her opponent will be. Now she knows, and she is ready to go as well in this final. Our number 1 seed from Lynn, Massachusetts, Janet Poch.
Okay, Janet averaging 122, has a high single of 182, high triple of 450.
All right, the state championship, all events championship on the line. $500 to the winner and a fine trophy as well. $250 to the runner-up. And we will be back to begin this state championship match after this break. Don't go away. Ready to go for the state championship match. Ladies all events, Glennis Mangano to lead it off. Came into the final round as the number 3 seed. And as you saw in the open, she defeated Lois Queen in a 5-game match, and then Carol Downey in a 3-game match here last week to get to the finals. And Glennis will start out with a 7. Again, this is just the 2nd year that Glennis has been entered in the New Hampshire State Tournament. Both times she's finished in the top 10. Now she's looking to win it all. And she's facing a very formidable opponent indeed in Janet Poch, who has been one of the top flight Candlepin bowlers, men or women, for several years now.
That's for sure. Just sliding by the 6 and 10. Those are the type of opportunities you have to cash in on.
Well, I think Glennis alluded to this at the end of last week's show, Dan. Even though she won that match against Carol Downey, she did miss several single pins and missed some opportunities that she knows she could have cashed in. So,
well, a lot of times, you know, Janet has the reputation now, and a lot of times that's a little bit of an advantage. I mean, it's like a gunslinger, you know. It's a little quicker on the draw. And
Janet Poch, of course, has been with us here on the wins many times before. And quite an accomplishment. I don't imagine that's happened very often, Dan, but Janet won both the New Hampshire and Massachusetts state titles in 1994. She'll defend her Massachusetts title, or try to, a little bit later on in the year.
And Janet will shoot the 6-10, and we'll take a 9 box.
Janet has won the New Hampshire State Tournament 3 times. In fact, she's done it in the last 3 even-numbered years, 1990, 92, and then last year.
Four horsemen plus the 8. I think both bowlers are hoping for a little quicker start than Glennis and Carol Downey had last year. How time flies.
10 for Janet, and she'll have a 3-pin lead after the opening pair. Don't forget, next week we begin our 2 weeks of coverage of the Men's All-Events Championship. As Glennis fires a quick 9 drop, she'll shoot at the 8. And again, this was one of the problems she had last week. Single pins. And again. Next week in the men's semifinal match, it'll be 18-year-old Chris Bovair from Merrimack, New Hampshire, against Dan Murphy, who is...
I thought you were going to say my age.
Well, I would if I knew, but it's a closely guarded
29.
secret, as you know.
Let's just say I can double his age. And then a few.
And then some more, right?
Yeah.
Another single pin opportunity for Glennis Mangano. The winner of that match next week between Chris Bovair and Dan Murphy will face the #1 men's seed Gary Carrington 2 weeks from today. And there is a confidence builder. Got to be right there for Glennis Mangano.
Yeah, what reward that is, huh? You win a match, you have to face Gary Carrington. Janet right in the 1-2 pocket. Let's see. 5, 9, 10, and piece of wood that I don't know if it's going to help her too much. She may want to go way to the left and clip the wood and swing the wood in between the 5 and 9.
Waiting around for that other piece of wood to see what that will do. It'll stay toward the back. Let's see. Nope, not quite enough.
No,
Good effort, though.
Yeah, it was. Trying to cut it over with the angle of that wood, though, it was just a really difficult shot.
That'll be the 10 for Janet. Janet is the #1 seed, as you might expect, did well in all of her events in this all-events competition. Again, 5 different disciplines. Janet finished second to Glennis Mangano in the singles competition. She was third in both doubles and team competition. And there's the spare for Janet, her first mark. Janet was 5th in the mixed team event and 9th in mixed doubles. And she converts the triangle for her first spare, matching the spare from Glennis in the 4th. And the fill is 8.
Right in the pocket, leaves the 5 and the 8, piece of wood out in front, and it's quite a bit out in front. The ball is going to fly. Oh,
yes.
Nice shot. Very nicely done. 2 in a row.
Glennis finished in the top 10 in 4 of the 5 events. Of course, she won the state singles championship, as I just mentioned, with a 689, which incidentally is a house record here at Londonderry Bowling Center. It's 5 games, of course, for the ladies. And the pins are still dropping.
Well, the 4 turned into 7. Leaves herself to 7, 9, and 10 with all kinds of lumber down the
I don't know about this wood, though. Even if she caps it, not a lot happening down there. She might have been better off with another pin or 2 standing. So Glennis was 1st in the singles, 3rd in teams, 5th in doubles, and 6th in mixed teams. The only event she did not finish in the top 10 was mixed doubles. So 69 through 6 for Glennis, and now Janet Poch working on her spare. Of course, to get to this event, Dan, it's interesting because we're televising this as if it were an individual event, and it really isn't, because you get to this point in the all events by competing in all those 5 disciplines, and you have a lot of partners along the way.
That's right.
Last week we acknowledged all of Glennis Mangano's bowling partners to get her to this point. Janet Poch converting for a 10. Janet bowled with Nancy Vestal in doubles, with John Maffeo in mixed doubles. Her mixed team teammates were Nancy Vestal, John Maffeo, and Sean McKinley, and there's a big strike for Janet in the 6th.
Crosses over in the 1-2 pocket, and just the 5-pin was the last one to go. Explosive ball by Janet Poch.
And interestingly, these 2 bowlers were on the same team in the team competition. Janet and Glennis bowled with Cindy and Lois Queen and Nancy Vestal.
Glennis going by the head pin on the 4 horsemen.
10 box. So this match today also, Dan, one of the many interesting subplots. This is a match between the last 2 Massachusetts All-Events champions. Janet won it last year and Glennis the year before. Glennis looking for her first New Hampshire title. Janet, as we mentioned, has 3 already. And Glennis has the spare in the 8th.
Converts the 6, 9, and 10. The triangle in the right-hand corner. Her 3rd mark, all spares.
Would it be easier, do you think, to bowl against a teammate in this kind of a situation? Someone you know very well?
I don't know. It's, I think if you have to bowl against Janet, it's not going to be easy no matter if she's a teammate or not.
Almost a double strike for Janet.
You may have a tendency to be a little more relaxed. Spare on strike for Janet Poch.
Working the big scoreboard here at Londonderry Bowling Center for the benefit of the fans watching and for the bowlers too is Cindy Sissom, as always. And working our computer scoreboard here on the wins for this state championship event is Tanya Murphy, Dan's daughter. We would not entrust Dan with the computer for such a big event.
Everybody's sitting at home saying, aha, that's why there's been no mistakes so far. 3 in a row for Janet Poch. Spare and 2 strike and 2 spares. And grabs a 14-pin advantage through 7 boxes.
And I'm sure you won't mention it because you don't want to seem like you're bragging about your daughter, but Tanya finished 9th in the women's handicap division in the state tournament.
For another mark for Glennis. 2 in a row in the 8th and 9th. Another spare. A little better start than she had last week against Carol Downey.
4 marks for each bowler to this point, and another good fill for Glennis, this time 7.
She has got it going right now. Actually, both bowlers have. Triangle again. 2, 4, and 5.
Yes.
3 in a row to finish the 1st game.
124 plus a ball. We get another look.
No doubt about it.
With that big arm swing. Carries 5, and it'll be a 129 to open up for Glennis Mangano. Janet Poch working on a spare. She'll carry 8.
She'll shoot at the 3-6, trying to make it 4 marks in a row for her. Spare strike followed by 3 spares if she was to corral the 3 and the 6.
Oh, no.
Too sharp on the 3-pin. Left the 6.
And Janet will settle for the 9, so she could take the lead with a 10 box or more as she moves to the 10th. Janet now lives in Lynn, Mass., works as an accounts receivable clerk for Transnational Travel in Boston. Brooklyn pocket hit, carries an extra pin. Not an easy leave, though.
No, he has a shot similar to this, the first box, but had a piece of wood between the 5 and the 9. He's trying to cut the 5 over.
Nope.
Well, if she were to get 2 of these, we'd have a tie match. That's what she'll do.
Takes out 2, exactly. All even after 1 game. Fine bowling for both competitors here. The first game of the New Hampshire Women's All Events State Final is in the book. 129 for Janet Poch, 129 for Glennis Mangano. Back with game 2 after these words. Welcome back to the Londonderry Bowling Center, and once again, here is the rundown of events that are involved in the All Events Championship. Now, this is in the open portion of the competition. In this case, all the women bowlers competing in 5 different events. You bowl 5 games in singles, 5 games in doubles, 5 games in mixed doubles, and then 3 games each in both teams and mixed teams. Now, interestingly enough, the team competition is 5 bowlers. The mixed team is 4 bowlers on each team. So that gives you an idea of how many different bowlers are involved in the all events competition, even for the bowlers that eventually reach this level and compete for the championship. They've got to, I guess to a certain extent, Dan, share that trophy a little bit with the other folks that helped them along the way. But of course, there are separate championships for all of those different disciplines. Oh, Janet Poch right out of the chute with a strike to start game 2.
Not much doubt about that one either in the 1-3 pocket. Didn't take long for those 10 pins to fall. Here's the replay of that.
And now on lane 29. Brooklyn side this time with a good mix. She'll leave the 10 pin. And wood turning, maybe a little too much. But she's got that wood in back, too. Although the wood in back is not frozen on the 10 pin either.
I'd say she'd probably still have to go at the 10 pin. Oh, no.
Oh, got it.
Well, the wood in the channel helped her keep that other piece of wood in play. Let's see. Watch the wood in the channel help this first piece stay in play right there. It actually pulled his first piece out of the channel for the 10 pin. So quickly, Janet has 2 marks up. Glennis will shoot at the 1 and the 9.
Pretty good break there for Glennis. She was square on the 3 pin and dropped 8. For the spare? No. Right around the 9 pin. $10. Glennis on the head pin that time and getting a terrific mix, and look out.
Oh, that's going to go. My, oh, my.
Well, Glennis having a laugh with Janet about that one. That looked like it was going to be an ugly leave at first.
Right here, it looks like the 3, the 7, 8, and 10, and finally they all go. Now Janet will shoot at the 1, 7, 9, 10. That's 6 on her spare.
For another. Oh, what a shot. Oh, she deserved that shot. What a great shot that was.
Had 2 or 3 shots at it, and it still didn't want to go.
Judging from her reaction, I think Janet thought she had it.
I think so, too.
And so did we.
There's 1 shot at it. Comes back. There's a second shot. Rocks it, but just not enough to knock the 7 down.
Right back in the pocket, but she'll shoot at the 5, 6, and 10.
Wants the wood to stick around. It's the right piece, isn't? Well, I'd take a piece of that and the 5 pin, and hopefully it'll come off the left sidewall for the 6-10. A little further left.
So 2 open frames for Janet Poch, and When Glennis Mangano steps up, she'll be working on her first strike of the match. Another 10 for Janet. So Glennis trailing by 16 pins, as you saw, but now working on a strike and against 2 open frames. Well, again, going down on that 3-pin, she's got the exact same lead she had last time on this lane.
Very close to making the 1-8 last time. Let's see if you can improve a little.
Oh, no, the 9-pin is still there.
She rocks one like Janet rocked the 7-pin. No spare to show for it, but a good fill on the strike.
And the 10. So Janet's lead now 7. Big 9 drop.
And standing all alone is that 5-pin. It's right on it this time.
Oh,
though.
yes. Single pin spare, and that takes us to a break. Just about even here, almost halfway through for the Women's All-Events State Championship. We'll be back to the Londonderry Bowling Center after these messages. Janet Poch set to go as we resume Game 2. A terrific match going here for the State Championship. Special presentation here on the Winds of New England, our first involvement with the state tournament. And Dan, we want to thank you and the rest of the board members of the NHCBA, and especially all the lane operators as well, who help us throughout the course of the year. We're happy to be involved with the state championships this year.
Yes, I'd like to a special thanks to Charlie Reed and all the staff here at Boutwell said Londonderry.
You'll just do anything for a cheap plug, won't you?
I will. For running a terrific tournament. It's been several years that we've held it right here at the Londonderry Bowling Center, and they do a terrific job with the scores and scheduling, and it's a lot of work behind the scenes that we take for granted sometimes.
Yeah, we should have pointed out that in addition to having the finals and semifinals on television, the entire tournament is bowled here at Londonderry. And that's an awful lot of bowlers bowling an awful lot of games over a period of 6 or 7 weeks. Janet Poch with the spare in the 6th. By the way, someone mentioned a little earlier, Dan, asking a very valid question probably, especially in light of the fact that our 2 competitors today bowling for the New Hampshire State Championship both live in Massachusetts. But the key is that if you are a league bowler in the state of New Hampshire at one of the NHCBA member bowling centers, that's what you have to be in order to qualify for the state championship. So it doesn't matter if you don't live in New Hampshire as long as you're a regular bowler in the state of New Hampshire.
The flip side of the coin is Janet Poch was a resident of New Hampshire last year, and she won the Massachusetts State Tournament. So.
Halfway through, just 1 pin is the difference.
Wants that 10-pin to go, but let's see where the wood settles down. May have a shot here. Looks like maybe the red line. Ball take the 10 and the wood take the 4-7. Let's see if it happens. You have to worry about is the ball flying up and over the 10-pin. Glennis waiting for one of her balls to return. Got a chance.
Yes.
Very nicely done.
Matches the spare put up by Janet Poch. Great shot.
Right on the red line. Janet through the middle, the 1, 5, and 8. Just the 3 fill on the spare.
Tomorrow at noon here on the Winds, the semifinal of the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. That'll be our number 3 seed Gary Carrington against our number 2 seed, Chris Sargent. Last Sunday, if you missed it, Gary Carrington threw a 456 to advance to the semifinals. And, of course, next Saturday from the Londonderry Bowling Center here at 12 noon, it'll be Dan Murphy against Chris Bovair in the men's state all-event semifinals. 9 for Janet. Now a chance for Glennis Mangano to take the lead in this match. Working on a spare and dropping 7 to take the lead by 3. And she's got a chance for another little split here off the wood.
Let's see if she can get it over on the 7-pin. No, the ball did fly that time. A little too high in the wood. But she can gain another one and count if she knocks the 7-pin down.
She does.
She's going to have a similar shot here. Off the wood for the 7. Hopefully the wood would take the 3 and the 10. And again, that ball is going to fly on her. Oh, yes.
Got it.
Boy, terrific shots.
That's 4 marks in a row in this game on lane 29 for Glennis Mangano. She's been perfect over there this game.
Janet on the head pin, straight through. Leaves herself 2-4-3-6. No wood.
Ooh. Eight. 105 through 9. Janet would love to put a mark up here in the 10th. Just to give Glennis a little something to think about. Big first ball. Leaves the 6-10. With what appears to be very favorable wood. And getting better all the time.
I'll take my chances with a few of those.
Yep. Spare in the 10th.
115 plus the bonus ball coming. So she'll probably be over that 120 mark again. Have a pretty decent 2-game total.
Just off the head pin, but worked out all right for her. A fill of 8 and a 123 for Janet Poch. 2-game total, 252. So Glennis does not have to mark here in order to maintain her lead into game 3. She's working on a spare right now.
She's on the head pin again. 6, 7, 8, 8.5.
Both are rocking, but it'll be 8.
Well, she'll try to sweep this wood just on the right of that 3-pin and sweep it to the left. She's got a chance. Not quite. A little too much of the wood. But she can gain another 2 and count. She's offset an 8 box, and then she has to contend with a spare 8 in the final frame.
And that'll be a 9. 9 box for Glennis. Ball clipping the wood in the channel.
So lead is 14. But as I said, spare 8 for Janet is already posted.
Oh, big first ball. Carries out the 10-pin. And a spare lead for Glennis on the 5-8.
No, she's going to go by the 5. So Janet will gain some of those pins back, and it's going to be in the single numbers. The lead, that is, for Glennis.
It'll be a 10, and Glennis has back-to-back 129s for a 2-game total of 258. Great match going here to decide the women's all-event state championship. 6 pins is the lead for Glennis Mangano with 1 game to go, and we will be back with it after this break. Once again, here's how they got here. The top 5 in the all events advanced to this step-ladder format, if you will, the playoff format. Carol Downey defeated Debbie Regan, the number 5 seed. Glennis Mangano knocked off Lois Queen, the number 4 seed. Those were 5-game matches, as you see the scores indicated there. And then last week, of course, here on the wins, Glennis Mangano with the 320 to 307 victory over Carol Downey to move her into today's championship match against Janet Poch. And Glennis is all set now to start game 3. She has a 6-game lead, looking for a 6-pin lead, rather, looking for her first New Hampshire State Championship. Janet Poch looking for her 4th state title in New Hampshire.
Got a break when the 10-pin went down, 5 and 8. And she's got room to get by that front piece of wood.
For the spare? No.
I heard someone say in the crowd that wood's not even there, just go right by it. That's probably the last thing she wanted to hear before she approached that pin. As a reminder that it was there. And it's a 9-box.
Oh, great pocket hit that time for Glennis, and she has the 6-10. A little heavy in the pocket, but a great mix through the center of the rack, kicking out the 4-pin. For the spare. That is her 10th mark of the match. 9 spares and 1 strike for Glennis. And she has just owned lane 29 in this match.
Janet off target to the right, but leaves herself just the 1, 2, and 4.
Boy, Janet throws that explosive ball, doesn't she?
Yeah, she throws as hard as most men do.
For the spare.
Pretty accurate, too. There you see the 1, 2, and 4 cleared out of there for her spare. Chance to take the lead.
Not what she wanted on the fill, just 4. That was Janet's 9th mark, by the way. 7 spares and 2 strikes.
Little light on the head pin.
And the 9 for Janet.
1 pin advantage for Glennis, plus this bonus ball. And see Janet's last spare attempt, just touching the head pin, goes right to the sidewall. No chance for the 4-7.
Glennis on a spare, getting a nice fill, a 9, leaving the 6-pin. Adding to her lead, it's now 11. And the single pin for the spare.
It's been her nemesis the last few weeks, but certainly was right on that 4-pin, 6-pin, I should say, for 2 in a row, and trying to build that lead. She bowls first. Janet will have the last say. Last 2 boxes. Oh, big break off the head pin.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan. Glennis has 8 of her 11 marks over here on lane 29. 8 of the 11 times she's been over here, she's marked.
Making another one.
And she's got 9 out of 12 now. 9 out of 12 marks on lane 29 for Glennis Mangano, and that's 3 spares in a row. Janet Poch with a strike.
Right back. Janet just gets up there and says, so what? I just throw a strike here.
Oh, look out. Oh, little full that time.
To try to get the 4-pin out of there, it's going to be the 3, 6, and 4. Wood is pretty deep to help her. She's going to have to do this on her own, either inside and off the wall, or try to split the 3 and the 6. No, she went by. Oh, she didn't.
No.
Just caught enough of it. I thought she went by the 3-pin.
And it'll go as a 9. We will break. 6 boxes to go to decide the state championship. Glennis Mangano in the lead at the moment. We'll return. All right, here we go. After all of this bowling, the state championship comes down to 6 boxes now.
Glennis back on the head pin again. 7-pin drop. This time the triangle 3, 5, and 6. Trying to go 4 marks in a row.
That increased her lead to 16 with the fill.
No, not this time. That's the one she wanted, but she does get the 10. 71 at the halfway point.
Pretty good pocket hit there. Another triangle. Boy, she's had a lot of practice on the triangle.
Last time was 3, 5, 6. This time the 2, 4, 5.
For the spare? Yes.
Good one.
And again on lane 29. That's 10 marks on lane 29.
Oh, got a good break there with the 4-pin going down and leaves herself the 3, 6, 10 and a piece of wood in front.
And the spare. Mark number 11 for Janet Poch. Janet not happy with that first ball.
No, she held up 2 fingers. She thought she was going to have the spread eagle on the right-hand side, but was able to manage 4 anyways. 4 horsemen plus the 6-10.
Well, much as she did last weekend, Glennis Mangano will have the lead coming down to the final 4 boxes. A 9 for Janet Poch. So the lead is 13 plus this fill ball. Very important ball right here for Glennis Mangano. Right in the pocket. Buried it. Look out. It's a 9 drop.
Let's see where this wood settles down. Oh, it's not good. It's not good.
Crowd groaning.
It could come off the right side, left side wall, though. You never know. She's going to try to cap it. Good effort there.
Oh, and there it was. On the second
close.
chance, yep.
Well, she's moving over to her lane 29, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, she's back in the pocket. This time, let's see, the 2 and the 8. But she's got some wood. These are the 2 pins you knock out for the half Worcester. You see this all the time, but to have them by themselves and try it, it's difficult. But she's going to get some help with the wood to the left. Oh,
no, not this time.
Didn't get enough help, that's for sure. So for the first time this game, Janet will be facing 2 open frames.
9 box. 109 through 8. The lead is 22 for Glennis Mangano. But again, as you mentioned, Dan, Janet opposite 2 open boxes here. Well, she could make things a little easier for herself by putting up 1 mark or even 2. Wow. That would have been one of those bring the house down kind of shots.
Absolutely. It's a difficult spare leave. Let's set it up the last 3 frames. Janet's down by 22 pins. Needs, I would say, 3 decent marks, hoping that Glennis does not mark the last 2. So she want to put one up here in the 8th box.
On the head pin again. Look out. Big strike. Well, that could change things a lot going to the final 2 boxes.
Absolutely.
Big strike in the 8th.
Not only has a strike in the 8th working, but gives Glennis something to think about. Sets herself up for possible double strike if Glennis was to throw a mark.
That is Janet's 4th strike of the match. Glennis Mangano now for her final two, and she almost answers.
It's about this time last week she had a big 5-pin against Carol Downey. This is just as big.
All over
right
it.
On it. Pressure shot there by Glennis Mangano. Sometimes that's the easy part of it, though. Now it's the fill.
14th mark of this match. On the head pin again, a little full that time.
Now, the way the wood's situated, if she catches that 3-pin, she may jump it over. No, she's going down the center. What you want to do is get as many as you can with this ball.
Glennis waiting for one of her bowling balls to return. And she takes out 3. That could be a very critical ball before this is all over. 134 for Glennis Mangano. A 3-game total of 392. And now she can just watch.
Janet would need 140 to tie.
Oh, look out. Remember, she was rolling on a strike, and Janet was trying to make the double strike happen.
You know, she's disappointed there, but she's still got to work. There's still light at the end of the tunnel here if she was to convert this.
No. So she is going to have a double strike in the 10th.
Actually, well, let's see what happens here.
9, 112. She will need
triple strike to tie.
Right. Well, no, actually a triple strike to win by 1. Or by 2. So she has to have the double and then an 8 fill to tie. This has to be a strike, and that's it. Boy, what a great match this was. Glennis Mangano is the New Hampshire State Champion for 1995. But what a terrific match. Coming right down to the final box. Janet will put the spare up in the 10th. And now finish it out. The final margin may be in single digits depending on this fill. A 6, a 128 for Janet Poch. 380, her 3-game total. Terrific match by both bowlers. Again, as we mentioned, teammates earlier in the state tournament. Glennis Mangano is the state champion for 1995, and we'll be back to award the trophy and the prize money and set you up for the men's tournament, which begins next Saturday after we take this time out. Welcome back to the Londonderry Bowling Center. Doug Brown, along with the president of the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association, Dan Murphy, and boy, we couldn't have asked for anything better in that championship match.
Just two great women bowlers that went head-to-head in a great match, and it's only too bad that we have to present a winning trophy to only one of them.
Well, I know you're ready to present that winning trophy, but before we do that, let's take care of another check that we want to present. Janet Poch, come on up. A second-place check this year for Janet, $250, and our congratulations. I know this must have been tough in a way, Janet, because, you know, you're bowling against someone who's not only a great bowler, but also one of your teammates from earlier in the event.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier to bowl. You're a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. And obviously, you both bowled terrific. It came down to the last few boxes. It's kind of interesting, too, because you're both the defending Massachusetts state champions as well, so maybe you'll get another shot at her later on.
Hopefully I will.
Well, congratulations. 3 times you've won this event, once in Massachusetts. You know, when it comes down to the finals, it's just sometimes a question of a pin or two either way, and that's what happened today.
Yeah, she carried the extra pin, and I didn't in the last 2 strings, and that was the difference. She bowled great.
Well, congratulations, and we hope to see you again real soon.
Thanks.
All right, Janet Poch, a terrific champion. And now Glennis Mangano, come on up, because we have a check for you and also a trophy. Step right in here in the champion's position, because I'm going to have Dan, the president of the NHCBA, present you with the check and with the trophy.
Well, there's one thing I like to do. This is supposed to be the cream of the crop. Now, last week, I don't want to bring back bad memories, but the cream seemed to be a little curdling last week. What did you do this week? You were on top of your game. This is what we expected last week from you.
I don't really know. I just, I think after last week, I scared myself bowling that bad, and I really, just kind of concentrated a little more and slowed it down and seemed to work a little better.
Well, usually when you give great bowlers a second chance, they come through, and that's what happened to you. So on behalf of the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association, please don't drop this. We've been worried about this all day long. A great trophy in the shape of this great state, the great Granite State. That's a prized possession. This also, I think you'll put it to some good use. A check for $500 on behalf of the association. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Glennis. Again, as Janet mentioned, we talked about this during the course of the match, too. Perhaps a little more comfortable when you're bowling someone you know so well because you were teammates for part of this event. So really, in kind of a strange way, Janet does have a part of this because she was one of your teammates in the all events.
She, for some reason, always brings out the best in me. I said it to her. I want her to come to all the tournaments, bowl next to me all the time. Usually when you bowl next to a great bowler, it's like, you know you have to do good, so she brings out the best in you.
Well, you have your Massachusetts championship from 2 years ago, and now your first New Hampshire championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. Glennis Mangano, this round of applause for you. Terrific champion, and, well, both great champions, really. Both have won events previously, and now Glennis has her first New Hampshire State Championship.
That's right, and she summed it all up. When you bowl against a great bowler, you seem to bring your game up one step more.
All right, well, now we can look ahead to next week's match, which will begin our coverage of the Men's All Events Championship. And, well, you just gave me a perfect lead-in to this now. It's not very often that I get a chance to talk to a bowler the week before they're going to bowl, but it's going to be your match next week in the semifinals against 18-year-old Chris Beauvais, who's been somewhat of a sensation during this whole tournament. Now, the same strategy you just said about Glennis could also apply to Chris. He's bowling against one of the best of all time. You've got more state championships than anybody, and now he gets to bowl against you next week.
Well, I like to think that I have to step my game up a little bit to get to his level. He certainly isn't short on talent. They don't know him because he hasn't a name recognition yet, but he is certainly a great Candlepin bowler, and you're going to see him on this show a lot more than you're going to see me.
So you're going to, take this week off in preparation for next Saturday's match?
Yeah, I'm going to go out and do some road work and sharpen up my game a little bit and come back and hopefully do well.
All right, that'll be Dan Murphy against Chris Beauvais next Saturday at noon here from the Londonderry Bowling Center. And, of course, 2 weeks from today, the winner of that match will face our top seed, Gary Carrington, for the men's 1995 All Events New Hampshire Championship. We've got 2 more weeks ahead here in the state tournament. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon at noon here on the Winds from Park Place Lanes, it'll be our semifinal match in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Be sure and join us for that one. Gary Carrington, speaking of Gary Carrington, had a terrific match last week, beating John Plant. He will face Chris Sargent tomorrow here on the Winds. So until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a great weekend, everybody.